red glow on the horizon. Always a good sign of a blue sky with sunshine. We'll take a picture after we finish and see the sun as it rises. Right now, start with your posture and on your back with your legs uncrossed. Your bed, the sofa, the floor, maybe a recliner kicked back, or sit up straight in a chair, side to side on your sit bones, and then plant your sit bones evenly and firmly. Your knees at 90 degrees, your feet hip distance apart with the toes pointing forward. And then lift your chest. Doesn't that feel good to lift your chest? And gently tuck your chin back towards your neck, straightening the neck vertebrae and creating that open space for everything to flow. Good. Now one hand on your belly and one hand on your rib cage so you can feel your body move with your breath. The air coming in through both nostrils, letting the nose do its work of filtering and warming and humidifying the air. And pull it down, and as your diaphragm moves down, opening up the space in your lungs, it gives your internal organs a gentle massage as your belly rounds up. And then on the exhale, let your body gently lengthen and flatten. And make the breath easy and relaxed with that belly that rises so the air gets pulled down to the bottom lobes of the lungs, where the majority of the blood circulates, and you get that great exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Such a healthy exchange. Good. I'm just quietly breathing in through both nostrils and pulling the air down, feeling your belly rise up. And releasing the breath and letting your body lengthen and flatten. Good. Roll your eyes up so that you're looking at a spot about a half inch up from the bridge of your nose and about a half inch inside. And this spot stimulates the glands in the brain and allows them to secrete. Good. And keep breathing this natural breath. And yesterday we did an exercise where we tightened the chest, an isometric exercise, and then we let it go. And the idea of these exercises, in addition to exercising muscle, is to give us an awareness of the tension that we carry. And when we exaggerate the tension and let it go, we get to feel both ends of that continuum, that tight space and that more relaxed space. And if when you tighten everything it's uncomfortable, just make a mental note, uncomfortable, and then release it and let it go so you feel the difference between the tension and the relaxation, reminding you to checkpoint Charlie yourself and make sure that you aren't chronically carrying that tension. And if you are, that you know how to tighten and release to let it go. And the chest was an exaggerated location around our heart, and it was very hard to do. But it was good to feel and let go of. This morning, Open your hands so your fingers and thumbs are spread wide apart, and bring them up to your head and place them like cups around your ears. And once in place, then give a good push and tighten, and push your fingers into your skull. And breathe 3 breaths. And when your 3 to 5 breaths are complete, release that tension and release your head down. Release your hands down. And then feel your scalp. And do you feel the flow of blood or the flow of energy after you release? Do it again. Bring your fingers up to your head and place your fingers and your thumbs around your ears like a cup. And then push in. Press as hard as you can and breathe. Breathe your 3 breaths coming in through both nostrils and releasing. And when 3 to 5 breaths are complete, release and let go. And quietly for a moment, feel the effect on your scalp. Stands to reason that's good for hair growth, huh? Bringing that blood, which brings oxygen and creates balance with the carbon dioxide. Good. Now continuing with the face, raise your eyebrows as high as you can raise them and create all that tension in your forehead and across your eyelids, and hold the eyebrows up as high as you can get them as you breathe 3 breaths. So interesting how we get our belly and our body all involved in raising our eyebrows. And by focusing and doing the breath, we learn to release the tension that isn't needed. Good. And then release. Continuing the soft, natural breath through both nostrils, rounding the belly, filling. Good. Now clench your jaw as tight as you can get it. It's so tight. And breathe. Again, interesting how your belly thinks its job is to get tight. Continue the breath that rounds the belly and maintain the tension in the jaw for 3 breaths. And then release and let it go. Good. And some of these simple exercises of tightening and releasing are great breaks during the day. Take just a minute or so and helps release tension that's accumulated that we don't need. Remind yourself during the day to do that a few times. And now on the next breath, pull the air in and fill all the way to the top. And when you get to the top, take in 3 sniffs, filling up that residual space, and then immediately releasing and letting the breath go, either out through the nose or out through the mouth. And at the bottom, 3 puffs out, letting go of the last bit. Not hanging on to the air, but releasing it and making room for the next breath. And fill to the top, and then at the top again the 3 sniffs. And then let the air flow out, and let it flow out all the way to the bottom. And again the 3 puffs. And then continue the natural breath and an awareness of making the breath balanced and realizing that sometimes we hang on to the air, or sometimes we don't take in all the air. And just an awareness so that in our life, if we notice ourselves in a situation where our breath is no longer balanced, we can balance it back out. There's a piece of research, who knows, some of this research, whether you believe it, and even the person reporting it said they couldn't believe it. But the research was that ambulance calls have a very high predominance of being a panic attack brought on by uneven breath, by shallow breathing that created an effect that led the person to believe they needed an emergency assist. So interesting. And so we just notice our breath and its balance, and we learn that balancing the breath can help us to decide and make decisions and be clear. And certainly we don't want any expensive rides in ambulances that aren't necessary. Jeez. Keep breathing. Good. And now, for the last few minutes, while the birds in the bowls continue your long breath, pulling the air in and rounding up and breathing with your whole body, and then releasing the breath and beginning to extend the exhale. Giving that vagus nerve a nice massage and letting it do its job of helping us come from states of action to states of relaxation. Realizing that as we build the tone of the vagus nerve, it goes with us during the day. And when life's challenges occur, we're better equipped to release the tension and the action and come back to that normal neutral state. Add the hum or a sound as you exhale, if that's comfortable for you, and add and amplify the effect on the vagus nerve as it passes by that auditory channel. And keep breathing and enjoy the day. And may the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Mm-hmm.